TGIF, it's a Friday, November 21st, 2025. Your Day with a Podcast brought to you by the Advocates Injury Attorneys. If you've been injured in an accident, don't face it alone. Get an experienced local Wyoming attorney on your side. Free consultations at WyomingAdvocates.com or call 307-800-1952. You deserve an advocate. Well, we've got another California low swinging in that's going to mainly affect Southern California, the desert Southwest, and the Southern Rockies this weekend. So it's going to affect some of you Sunday into Monday. A lot of you, we just go back to cool, quiet weather as we go through later today, through the weekend, and through the beginnings of Monday. Then the first front affects the Pacific Northwest Monday, part of the Northern Rockies overnight Monday, into early Tuesday. It looks like this is going to be a quick moving cold front. There's not a lot of moisture with it, though. It is going to produce some wintry weather in some locations, but due to its speed and the fact that there's actually not a lot of moisture behind the front, it won't be too much of a snow producer with this first front. So there's good news for the beginning of the travel weather pattern, at least as we go through this front. The first front won't be too impactful with precipitation, but it certainly is going to make things feel and look a lot colder out there as we get into Tuesday and into the day Wednesday in particular. We may actually see the cold air get shoved east for Thanksgiving Day, Thursday into Friday, but then the biggest concerns are likely going to come after Thanksgiving Day. As we get into Friday after Thanksgiving and especially the weekend after Thanksgiving is when the bigger changes with the second system will be the most impactful. Also, we want to let you know that we're going to be producing a new daily travel video that will be issued Monday through Fridays and, if necessary, on weekends that you may find helpful for the region as we get into the winter driving season. Fog rolling in last night and earlier in the day yesterday, a lot of fog being reported. This is fog moving into the Casper area. Nice shot there. Seeing the fog rolling on in. Okay, it's a quiz. Name the state capital. We have folks submitting photos from all over the place. Have you figured it out yet? Concord, New Hampshire, or as they would say, Kankakee. Now we're looking at Mount Tom in the Sierras, covered in snow. You know, that's where it's really snowing, the central and southern Sierra in particular, and into the southwestern United States where all these storms are going. And that includes some clouds and precipitation across the deserts of New Mexico. The next California low, there it is. So the Pacific is producing, but in the areas, it just continues to track across the same areas. Here's the weak upper level low now moving through the plains, heading east and weakening. The blue patches represent either fog or low stratus clouds. And we had quite a bit of that yesterday in some areas. But this guy right here is going to stay on the southern route before doing the same thing that these other ones have, curving northeastward across Colorado as we get into late Sunday and Monday. And you can see that well here on the satellite water vapor. That system moving away. Impressive moisture with this system there in Southern California again. So we see where we're going to be today. This is where we're going to be by Monday morning. So you can see it kicks out and it takes the same path. This is the third time in 7 days we've had a Southern California low cut across the desert Southwest and into Colorado. But all three situations, the storm doesn't intensify. It comes through either in a weakened state or a dissipating state as it crosses the Continental Divide. There's the next system coming into the Pacific Northwest with the cold front and the colder Canadian air in behind it. So by Monday morning, you're going to see the weather changing in Washington, Oregon, Idaho, up into Montana. And then as that front moves through quickly, it will be bringing some precipitation to the Pacific Northwest, as you can see here, by late Sunday into early Monday. Some snow punching across portions of northern Montana. The California low going to go just like this. So once again, eastern Colorado is going to see some areas of rain and wet snow. We're going to see a nice snow in the central and southwest mountains of Colorado. More snow for the mountains of Southern California. Look at down in here in northwest Mexico here. But as we have seen here over the last several weeks, the middle just keeps getting missed. At least that'll be the case again through Monday. When we look at the snowfall totals, if you are traveling Sunday into Monday, you will encounter some snow in the mountain passes of Colorado. So travelers keep that in mind, Sunday night in particular. But late Sunday into Monday morning, if traveling through the mountain passes down here, up high, you're going to be running into some snowfall. And you can see the snow by Monday morning reaching in the northern Montana. By Tuesday morning, the front amplifies a bit and moves quickly across the northern plains. It's not taking a huge dip south. Nonetheless, there is colder air coming in behind it, much colder air. So you're going to feel some chill Tuesday into Wednesday with some areas of snow showers and light snow. I mentioned at the beginning that there was not a lot of water with it. And boy, here it is. You can see this brown patch. Much lower relative humidity. The precipitable water is poor with this first front. So the snowfall is not going to be impressive. You'll definitely notice the change with the cold. As you can see here, by Tuesday, the colder temperature anomalies spreading down the front range and getting into the northern Rockies and northern plains. But pretty paltry with the snowfall through Wednesday morning. We will see some accumulating snow up near the U.S.-Canadian border. There's going to be snow in Wyoming's northern and northwest mountains, and there will be some snow showers on the plains. But this is not as much snow as you would think with a Pacific front like that, just because the air behind it is just not very moist. Now, there is a pocket of moist air right here. We showed you that yesterday that will get entrained into the system as we get into midweek. So when we look at where we're going to be on Thanksgiving morning, that core of the cold low goes across the northern Great Lakes. Arctic air will spill into the northern Great Lakes region on Thanksgiving Day. Colder air will be banked up against the Continental Divide Thursday morning. But the worst of the cold on Thursday is going to be out east. It's going to be out into the plain states in the upper Midwest. So temperatures Thursday into Friday are actually going to go back up after the cold shot that'll come in Tuesday and Wednesday. We showed you this northwest flow yesterday has some moisture in it, and it does. So we will see higher elevation snowfall late Wednesday, Wednesday night, and into Thursday morning. And late Wednesday into Thursday morning, there may very well be some snow showers across the lower elevations of the central Rockies. That'll be something that we'll keep an eye on. We showed you that yesterday. It all depends on how much the cold air lines up with that better moisture coming on through. So things are out of sync a little bit. The better moisture doesn't come with the front. It comes a day after the front. Temperature anomalies look like this Thursday morning. You can see the coldest air into the central areas of the United States, banked up against the Canadian Rockies. Here you can still see Pacific influence pushing up against that colder air as it spills into the plains. So snowfall through Friday looks like this, generally speaking. Northern plains, Great Lakes are where you're going to see through Friday. I'm stopping at Friday, looks like this. So you can see a lot of the country for the first half of the Thanksgiving period, not bad. You're going to have to deal with a little bit, but it's not bad for a large part of the U.S. as this first front comes through. It's the second front, and you say, well, where is it? Well, by Friday morning, the cold is going to be in the Great Lakes. There'll be plenty of lake effect snow there. Then this guy right here is initiating the bigger change. With the high pressure building in behind it, this is for Friday morning. By Saturday morning, you can see there's a big push south. Most importantly, and this is the overall overriding number one factor on this advertised change, is this high pressure ridge. The amplitude of this ridge and how strongly it grows northward will dictate how far southward the Arctic air is able to penetrate the western United States and the northern plains. As long as this high pressure ridge forms, it's a foregone conclusion. The Arctic air will spill into the western United States, and this is an impressive vortex of cold forming in Hudson Bay. This would be by Saturday morning. So we start to see in the western United States deteriorating weather in the Pacific Northwest, the Canadian Rockies, Montana, probably up into northern Wyoming and the Dakotas, as this system will have a much better moisture supply than the first front. So this is by Saturday morning, the Saturday after Thanksgiving. This is Sunday, and this is Monday. What do you notice between Sunday and Monday? It really doesn't move. And there we see free access, nothing to impede the cold air spilling out of Canada into the western United States. Then we're going to see a warm up here out ahead of it. But as we showed you yesterday, when you go into where there's a collision point between air masses is where you're going to have problems. So by Saturday morning, the Arctic air is into Montana, it's into Sheridan, it's into Gillette, it's pushing into Rapid City, and then wow, that's Saturday, this is Sunday. So this is why the weekend after Thanksgiving on a larger scale is going to be the most impactful. And you can see that the snowfall this upcoming weekend, this is basically total snowfall through next Sunday. Definitely a bias from I-80 north, but this colder wintry weather could end up going further south as well with snow, ice, and rain, and maybe even some severe weather down here. This is just showing you the snowfall potential for the backside of Thanksgiving weekend. With that being said, we are starting a regional travel forecast. You'll find it on our YouTube channel, and we're going to go through the western United States hitting the major interstates, Interstate 80, I-25 and I-90, and I-70. So we're going to concentrate in the western United States, and hopefully this travel impact video, myself, Don Watzel, and meteorologist Mark Hewer, and meteorologist Don Watzel will be producing these videos for you, and hopefully you'll find them helpful. Have yourself a very good Friday and a good weekend.